Hello, I'm Tom Nahumi from DELL EMC, and today I'm going to show you a demonstration of installing the DELL EMC XtremIO X2 Container Storage Interface plugin for Kubernetes. Kubernetes is the de facto standard for container orchestration for microservices and applications. However, when it comes to the complexity of persistent storage, the adoption of big data and databases using containers and Kubernetes is hindered by multiple challenges. In order to effectively address the challenges of persistent storage, DELL EMC XtremIO provides its unique CSI plugin, allowing our customers to deliver persistent storage for container-based applications on-premise for both development and production scale. With DELL EMC XtremIO's unmatched level of performance, availability, and TCO, organizations can now achieve the same level of business agility offered by the public cloud with the benefits of running them on-premise. For the purpose of this demo, I deployed a two-node Kubernetes cluster, while one node is running the master role and the other one is running the node role. Currently, the Kubernetes cluster is empty. No storage classes, stateful sets, pods, or volumes are deployed. With that, let's go to our Kubernetes nodes and run the CSI XtremIO installation. On the left console, you can see my Kubernetes master, while on the right, the Kubernetes node. The first step is downloading the deployment scripts for the CSI plugin from the DELL EMC GitHub. You can find a link to the GitHub repository in the description, which contains detailed information about the scripts and its parameters. As you can see, the folder contains multiple files such as README file, license file, as well as the YAML templates, installation script, binary files, and the CSI ini, which is our configuration file. The next step would be editing the configuration file. Let's go through the different parameters. The first parameter is the management IP, which is our XMS IP address or fully qualified domain name. In order to demonstrate the plugin capabilities, I deployed a multi-cluster with two XtremIO X2 X-bricks with different capacity. Both are managed by the same XMS running version 6.1 build 36. The initial user is an XMS user that has at least storage administrator permissions on the XMS. We'll use this user to create our CSI user, which will be used to interact with the CSI plugin. CSI user and CSI password can be created in advance or can be created by the installation script by specifying the username and password. After installation, the initial user is no longer used by the plugin. The next two parameters are not mandatory. The force flag allows the plugin to modify the IG name and its initiators in the XMS in case the IG name is already created. By default, this parameter is set to no. During the installation, the deployment script checks if the IG already exists and if not, creates it. The verify parameter performs connectivity verification between the Kubernetes node and the XMS. By default, this parameter is set to yes. The plugin path and the next CSI parameters describe the Docker Hub registry path to the CSI container file on Docker Hub and the necessary sidecar containers. If the Kubernetes nodes don't have direct access to the internet, a local Docker registry can be specified instead. During the installation, the deployment script pulls the up-to-date CSI Docker image and deploys it as a Kubernetes pod on all the nodes. The next parameters are not mandatory. By default, during the CSI plugin installation, 4 storage classes are created: default, high, medium, and low, and the corresponding quality of service policies at the XMS level, which are set to 15, 5, or 1 megabyte per second per gigabyte. These values can be adjusted by the cluster to fit the required quality of service needs. Also, after the deployment, additional XtremIO storage classes can be created manually as well. At this point, we're ready to start the installation. I'm copying the folder with the edited CSI.ini file to my Kubernetes node. In case you have more than one node, you have to copy it to all nodes in the cluster. Install -c, install the plugin with a controller mode. During the installation, all Kubernetes objects are created as well as the XtremIO objects such as CSI users and initiator groups. During the installation, the script scans the existing initiator groups and creates the Kubernetes node IGs if they don't exist. Once done, we can run the installation with -n flag on the Kubernetes nodes. In case you have more than one node, you have to run it on all nodes in the cluster. By running the kubectl get pods command, we can see that both the node and the controller pods are up and running, and we are ready to deploy our first persistent volume on XtremIO using XtremIO CSI plugin. By navigating to the Kubernetes user interface, we can see the new storage classes. We can see that the provisioner is set to CSI XtremIO, and this basically means that for every new persistent volume request from this storage class, volume will be created on the XtremIO array, mapped to the relevant Kubernetes node, mounted and formatted with a file system. By navigating to the XMS, we can see that our CSI admin user has been created. This user will be used to interact with the CSI plugin. We can also see that the quality of service policies have been created on both arrays with the values specified in the CSI.ini file. In addition, we can see that for each Kubernetes node, a new IG has been created which contains all the server FC initiators. With that, let's create our first volume. For the purpose of this demo, I have a sample persistent volume claim file which is configured to create a 10 gig volume from the XtremIO storage class. As you can see, a new persistent volume is now available and ready to be attached to a Kubernetes node. By navigating to the XMS, we can see that the volume was created at the XtremIO level. By default, when there is more than one XRIC under the same XMS, the CSI plugin creates the volume on the cluster with more physical capacity in order to load balance the capacity between the different bricks. You are welcome to watch the next part of this demo, which shows the deployment of scalable persistent storage for Kubernetes application using the XtremIO CSI plugin. I hope you will find this demo useful, and thank you very much for watching.